Alright. So this is our first video, stupendous students. I'm gonna start off with the lecture for our class, and then I'll cover the nicks and pics of whatever we're gonna do in the following weeks regarding the Islamic school. In that case, in that respect, your parents should watch towards the end of the video to get information on the homework, what I'm going to be doing throughout the next few weeks regarding grading, regarding Islamic education, and potential new things I will try out. But right now, I just want to cover the lecture for today. Alright, so go to page B34 in your textbooks. We're covering Unit B, Chapter 4, The Young Blessed Man. Alright, here's some do now questions. Please pause the video, but as right now, you should, write it down in your notebook, do it in your head, do it whatever. This is sort of like a warm up to the lecture. Question number 1, do you like to take care of animals? Question number 2, did Prophet Muhammad take care of animals? And question number 3, do you like to travel? Where did the Prophet Muhammad travel to? Alright. These are some words you should be watching out for. Jazakumullahu khair. You probably heard that a lot when you go to the Sunday school or whatever. Then you got idol, and then you got Abu Talib. Alright, so let's cover Abu Talib. So prior to, Prophet Muhammad meeting Abu Talib, he had to go through many sad times when he was young. For example, right, even though he grew up, right, very blessed, when he went to Halima, right, when he was living in that village, he acquired healthy food. He brought many blessings to the crops there, right, and as a result spoke beautiful Arabic. That's why his mom sent him there. However, when he came back, right, unfortunately Amina died, right? His father was already dead. Abdullah had already died prior to him even being born. And then to even top that all off, right, Abdul Muttalib, right, as we covered, who was the leader of Makkah and the grandfather of the Prophet Muhammad through his father's side, he was Abdullah's father, he died as well. So now Prophet Muhammad was left without a mother, without a father, without a grandfather. And that's very hard on someone, especially someone that is very young. But Prophet Muhammad basically grew up. This characterized him. This made him a very strong person, right? Obviously, he was sad, right? Anyone would, right? That's not what he got out of it, right? He could be sad, right? But what is there to move? What is there to look towards, right? The future, right? So he used this experience to make himself a stronger person. So after Abdul Muttalib unfortunately died, Prophet Muhammad's uncle, Abu Talib, took him into his care. So Prophet Muhammad went to Abu Talib, and he also was the son of Abdul Muttalib. So with that respect, or with that connection, you could say that Abdullah, Prophet Muhammad's father, was the brother of Abu Talib. Alright, and that makes Abu Talib the Prophet Muhammad's uncle. Now, unlike Abdul Muttalib, Abu Talib was a poor man, but one key characteristic of his personality was that he was kind and he was generous. So, by doing so, he took Prophet Muhammad in and he loved him very much as his own sons. So this shows that even with being poor, even with not having enough money, right, he was willing to take Prophet Muhammad, especially in such a grave time, right? Prophet Muhammad lost so many people, and he needs someone, he needs a figure to look up to, right? Abu Talib was that person that brought him in despite being poor, right? He was kind and generous and was willing to take Prophet Muhammad in, and he taught the Prophet Muhammad many things, right? And when you think about it, Prophet Muhammad has a lot to thank for Abu Talib because he was poor, right? He gave Abu Talib, gave Prophet Muhammad a home. He gave Prophet Muhammad food. He gave him a place to live, basically, right? So that he can continue to grow, continue to learn. And coming from that rough past, not necessarily rough, I want to say, but being an orphan, right? Prophet Muhammad felt almost obligated to pay Abu Talib back in some way. So when he was 12, Prophet ﷺ chose to become a young shepherd to help his family. Sorry, I'm going to move the mic just a little bit. All right. Oh, I moved my mic, and then it moved my whatever in my slides. All right. So he became a shepherd to help out his family. And as a shepherd, he learned how to be responsible and he learned how to be kind to animals. Again, these are key characteristics of his personality. That he developed when he was young, right? Because they're very important. Your first few years of your life are very important because they shape your future personality. So Prophet ﷺ is learning how to be kind. He's learning how to be generous. He's learning how to be truthful, right? Because in the future, these are key characteristics that help him be the prophet that he is known for the rest of humanity. Although it was a quiet job outside of Mecca, it came with a lot of benefits, and that long benefits was he would have long periods of time to think deeply while breathing fresh air. Now, why is this important? Well, when Prophet ﷺ actually became a prophet, well, he didn't technically become a prophet. He was already going to be a prophet according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even before he was born. However, right, when he was actually given the first ayat of the Quran, he was actually meditating in the cave Hira, and those were periods of time where he would just think deeply about society. I mean, like, he was thinking about how there were idols in the Al-Kaaba and how people were worshipping it, and he knew even back then, even before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Angel Jibril to Prophet ﷺ, that there was one true God, right, that needs to be worshipped directly. We can't be worshipping these idols, right? Because idols are just man-made structures. Why would you worship them? All right. So one thing that is taught in this chapter is Jazakumullahu khair, and this simply means may Allah bless you with goodness. It's basically saying thank you. So whenever someone does something for you, right, whenever your parents do something for you, whenever your friends do something for you, and then you get something good out of it, right, just say Jazakumullahu khair, which means may Allah bless you with goodness. Alright, so as a young man, this is what I said prior, but I'm going to repeat it anyway because I feel like it's a very important concept. Right? So as a young man, Prophet ﷺ was very different from your ordinary person. He was kind, fair, and he was always helping others. Now you might say, whoa, wait a second, right? I'm kind, fair, and always helping others. Here's the thing with Prophet ﷺ, right? There are times where someone else, right, would probably not be kind, right? They would probably not be fair, and they would probably not help others, right? But Prophet ﷺ was not that type of person. He was perfect, right? He was kind. He was fair all the time. He was kind all the time. He was fair all the time. And he was always helping others. And he never told a lie, right? Now imagine that, you never telling a lie. There was no intention of telling a lie. He was always honest, and because of that, people actually respected him, right? He was blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to possess these characteristics, and people respected him. And when people respect you, right, they pay more attention to you. They even aspire to be you. And what aspire means, it means they look up to you. So in that regard, right, he was very blessed. He was a very special person. All right. So let's talk about a trip to Syria. This is a short story, but it's very important. It's pretty significant. So Mecca is known for having many traders. What are traders? They're basically people that trade or exchange goods in a way. So let's say I have a lot of oil, right? But another person has a lot of wood. I don't have wood, and he doesn't have oil. All right, let's switch. Let's trade. So that's what a trading is, right? So even today, everything that we do is trading. When you go to the grocery store, whenever you want to buy a new tech stuff from Best Buy, right, you're giving money in exchange for your product. So that is a trade. That's what trading means. So Abu Talib brought Prophet ﷺ along with him to a trading trip. And now this is very interesting because Abu Talib was going to Syria, and Prophet ﷺ never really went on these trading trips with Abu Talib, but he asked his uncle, and his uncle was like, all right, let's try it, because Prophet ﷺ was curious. He wanted to try new things. So they traveled, and they reached a place called Busra, where there was a Christian priest, and his name was Bahira. Now, this is very interesting because Priest Bahira was watching the caravan coming, and what he noticed in the sky was that there was this cloud, and it was shading the travelers from the sun as they came near his church. Now, Prince Bahira invited Abu Talib and his group to dinner because it's very interesting. Imagine clear skies, right? But then you see this one cloud in the sky, and that one cloud is providing shade to a group of people, right? It could have provided shade to anywhere else in that desert, but it's providing shade to that group of people while they walk to the city. There has to be something up, right? So he invited Abu Talib and Prophet Muhammad in to talk. All right, so Bahira then meets Prophet Muhammad, right? And Bahira actually loved him a lot, and he asked who Prophet Muhammad's father was. And when, pursuing this conversation, when having this conversation with Prophet Muhammad, he found out that Prophet Muhammad was an orphan. Then Bahira noticed that there was a birthmark on the shoulder of the Prophet Muhammad, right? So this caught Priest Bahira's eyes, and he told Abu Talib that there would be an orphan like Muhammad right? That a new prophet would come and it would be an orphan like Prophet and he would also have a mark on his shoulder like the one Prophet Muhammad has. So in that regard, Prince Bahira actually begged Abu Talib to protect Prophet Muhammad very well all the time. So when Abu Talib heard all of this, right, heard all those connections, right, that birthmark, that orphan, he fit all the description of the new prophet that should be coming, right, that is coming, the final prophet. Abu Talib decided to hurry and get Prophet Muhammad home to Mecca for his safety and his protection. Alright, and as I covered in the beginning of the video, Prophet Muhammad liked to spend a lot of time, right? And he would spend a lot of time in the mountains. So as a young man, Prophet Muhammad spent more and more time thinking about things, right? He's reflecting about society, he's reflecting about how people view religion, what do people do? What is the truth to why we are here? Why are we here on this earth, right? You guys know the question, but Prophet Muhammad before his prophethood, right? Because, everyone was worshipping idols in Mecca, because they were pagans, he would always reflect on that, like, is this really the true path? And obviously, as we know today, that is not. So he didn't like when people worshipped idols, right? And idols are basically structures that are made out of stone or wood that people worship. He knew that there must be some great creator that made a beautiful world, and not the stone statues. So he believed that there was one great creator, right? One great creator that basically created everything, right? And that these idols were simply not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They're structures, right? That were made out of people. Not out of people, by people. And what I mean by that is, they're not literally made by people, but they were constructed by people. That's the word. Oh, that's a sentence, sorry. But idol worshippers thought that they were doing the right thing at the time. So Prophet ﷺ knew that there has to be a way that he can learn the truth and that the people would learn. Alright, so the final page of the chapter is B40. I want you guys to memorize Surah Creation. Now, this is not like a punishment or anything, right? So you're probably home, you probably have some free time. It's a very good habit to at least memorize a few surahs of the Quran, such as Surah Creation, a bunch of anything that's in the 30th Shpara. Try memorizing those surahs because they will help you when you try to do namaz. When you're doing namaz, when you're doing prayer, right, you say Surah Al-Fatiha, and then you say a surah from the Quran. You don't want to say the same surah every single time you do prayer. So try memorizing some more surahs in your free time. And I want you guys to memorize Surah Al-Quraysh, for example, today. It's only, I believe, four ayat. It's in your book. You can also look in your own copy of the Quran and memorize it, and then try to say it when you're doing prayer. Say it when you're doing, let's say, Asr or Maghrib, right? And that's another thing. Try at least praying when you're here, because now that you don't have school, right, it doesn't really conflict with your timing, so it should help you at least get the habits, get the ball rolling in a way, right? I'm not expecting you to immediately just go from 0 prayers to 5 prayers a day. I want you to at least attempt to go and get all your prayers, and so build that habit right now so that it's easier in the future. All right, so what I'm going to do is you also have to answer the study questions on page B41 of your textbooks. Let me get onto that just a tad quickly, but extra practice is workbook pages. So the workbook pages in your workbook, those are going to be your extra credit, so that if we ever go back to school, or you could just email me or whatever. But that's just extra credit, or that's just for extra if you have free time and you want to learn. All right, so cover homework. How are you submitting it? So this form is gonna show up on the MCNJ website. And now, if it doesn't show up, at least the link will show up. I hope that the link will show up. But if the link is show up, it will direct you a page. It will direct you to a page like this. And I want you to put your parents' email address so that I could send you your score. So whenever I grade it, you could send your score. And so this is like the homework for today, technically, right? It's basically the study questions that are in your textbook, B41, but instead of typing it, instead of writing it on paper, right, and then taking a picture and then sending me an email, it's easy. You could just do it on the website and then get it done. So you're not only are you saving paper, but it's much more easier, right? And everything, goes to plan. So I get it much faster, I grade it much faster, and then you get the scores pretty quickly. All right. So parents' email address, student name, whatever. So hopefully this will actually be on the website itself, the MCNJ website itself, so that you could just submit it from there. But if it's not, there will be a link, and then the link would go to this form. All right. And then press submit when you're done. Make sure to press submit, because then I'm not going to get it, right? All right. So for your parents, right, there are two ways you can contact me. The easiest way you can contact me, right, is through Remind. So you can either download the app, right, and then when you press joining a class, right, you could put add 2020 EIMA, and then this will direct you. Well, this will let you join the class, and then you could see the previous announcements. Or if you want to just get it through the regular text message way, you could just text this code to the number 81010, and then you can get announcements from me. So whenever I release a new video, whenever I'm trying to do maybe a Zoom meeting, I'm hoping that we can get like a Zoom meeting going for our lecture, so that I don't even have to upload videos. You can just contact me directly from there. And if you guys want like maybe a personal lecture, or if you want to catch up on anything, I'll happily do it if I have the time. So I want to get maybe a Zoom meeting going. So how am I going to do that? Please text this number. Well, please text this to 81010, so that I can send you the announcement or keep a heads up, right? And then if your parents have any questions, right, again, this is the easiest way. You can just type a message and then send it to me. I'll get a notification on my phone, and in that notification, right, I can send you a notification back. I can send you a text message back. So this is easiest method, right? You can immediately contact me through here. This will take some time, but I will get the email eventually, and I will respond. But this is the best method. So my email's here, and the Remind code is here. Alright, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay safe, stay well, stay healthy. Alright.